I made that decision to do that, and I know it's through confusion. And everybody around me who loved me, cared about me, for those who knew me. Maybe kind of snickers laugh. What does the hell does he think he's doing after 12 long years of work? Kevin Costner's former maid was suddenly fired, and what she did next didn't just surprise the people around her, it shocked the entire internet after sharing her side of the story. She went viral within hours, leaving millions of people stunned, confused, and curious. Why was she fired after all this time? And what exactly did she reveal that grabbed so much attention from the internet? Stay with us as we uncover the truth behind her firing and reveal the bold move that turned Kevin Costner's life upside down. Kevin's former maid and what went viral overnight for 12 long years. Kevin's former maid walked the halls of Kevin Costner's home. She knew when the children got up in the morning, what kind of coffee Kevin liked and how he liked his shirts ironed. She didn't just clean the rooms, she kept the household running like a quiet engine. She was more than just a maid. She had become part of the rhythm of the Costner family. Day in and day out she worked behind the scenes, while Kevin lived out his life in the spotlight. But then just like that, after 12 years of loyalty, she was let go. No warning, no celebration, no farewell. It was sudden, and many people close to the family didn't see it coming. But what shocked everyone the most was not just that she was fired, but what she said after it happened, because when she spoke out, she didn't talk about dust or dishes. She said something unexpected, something about Kevin's personal life that touched on the very thing that had already been making headlines for months. Some people believe she hinted at secrets surrounding Kevin's divorce, and within hours of her words being shared online, they went viral. So why did her words spread so fast, and why did people care so much about what she said? Keep watching to find out, because this is where it starts to get interesting. However, to truly understand why her words caught fire like that, we have to go back and look at what was happening inside Kevin Costner's life, especially in his marriage and personal relationships, because when someone who saw it all from the inside speaks up, people listen. Kevin Costner married Christine Baumgartner, was a model and handbag designer, and their love story seemed picture perfect. Together they had 3 children and lived a quiet, private life on their beautiful ranch in Santa Barbara, California. To the outside world, they looked happy. They had been married for 18 years, which is a long time in Hollywood, where many relationships don't last. But even the longest marriages can break when cracks start to form, and over time, things started to change. According to court documents and public interviews, there were disagreements that built up between Kevin and Christine. Now, to really understand what led to those cracks, it helps to know a bit about Kevin's past. Before Christine, he was married to Cindy Silva. They got married back in 1978 and were together for 16 years. Cindy stood by him through his early acting days, but their marriage ended in 19 becoming a huge Hollywood star, and that lifestyle started to take a toll on their relationship. There were also rumors of infidelity. People talked about alleged affairs, including one with a hula dancer during the filming of Waterworld. Whether those rumors were true or not, the damage was done. The divorce was one of the most expensive in Hollywood at the time. Kevin had to pay Cindy around $80 million in the settlement, and after going through that, he became very careful about relationships, especially when it came to protecting his home and finances. So when Kevin met Christine, he wasn't quick to jump into marriage again. In fact, their relationship wasn't always smooth. They dated for a few years, and even broke up at one point. Christine wanted children, but Kevin was hesitant. He already had children from his first marriage, and didn't know if he was ready to start that all over again. After some time apart, he realized he didn't want to lose her. They got back together, talked things through, and eventually tied the knot. That moment was a turning point. Kevin was willing to open up his heart again, even after his past heartbreak. One issue was their 19-year age difference. Kevin already in his late 40s when they got together while Christine was in her late 20s at first. The age gap didn't seem to matter, but as time went on, their differences in lifestyle and expectations started to show. Christine was in a different phase of life. She had more energy and wanted to build a life with someone who was present and involved every day. Kevin, on the other hand, had already lived a big part of his life and had a deep focus on his career. Age gaps like that can work, but they take a lot of compromise, patience, and problem solving, and sometimes even with love, it just isn't enough. He had a dream to create a big multi-part Western film, and he was putting everything into it. His time, his money, and his heart. That project was called Horizon, an American saga. But the more time he gave to that project, the less time he seemed to be giving to his family, and slowly it started pulling them apart. And Christine, on the other hand, wanted a partner who was fully present, not just someone who came home tired after filming or business meetings. And because Kevin had already experienced the damage a career could do to a marriage, it must have been difficult for him to feel history repeat itself. He tried to manage both, but that balancing act got harder and harder. Then in May 2023, Christine shocked many when she filed for divorce. She cited irreconcilable differences as the cause of the divorce. This is a legal term that basically means they couldn't work things out. Kevin reportedly surprised. He said he didn't want the divorce, and it left him heartbroken. But Christine was serious. She wanted to move on, and she asked the court to make sure she could stay in their home and get support for their kids. Now here's where things got even more complicated, because Kevin had gone through such a tough divorce before he made sure to have a prenuptial agreement in place when he married Christine. That prenup was supposed to protect certain things, especially his home after what happened with Cindy. Kevin didn't want to lose everything again. He felt he needed to have the security. But when Christine filed for divorce, she didn't want to leave the house. That became a huge point of disagreement. Kevin believed the prenup was clear. She had to move out. Christine, however, wanted more time and didn't think it was fair, and that's when the legal battle turned messy. Followed was a long public divorce battle. It wasn't quiet, and it wasn't peaceful. It played out in courtrooms and made headlines. There were arguments about money, how much Christine should get in child support. There were disagreements about who should live where and who got what. And through it all, Kevin kept working on his movie, trying to stay focused even though his personal life was falling apart. The divorce was finalized in early 2024, but even after the legal papers were signed, the story didn't end there. Just a few weeks later, Christine made news again. She was seen wearing a sparkle ring on her finger, an engagement ring, and the man she was engaged to, Josh Connor, he was not just a new face, he was someone Kevin had known. Some reports called him a friend of the family. Others said he had been close to Christine during the divorce. Whether or not Kevin saw it coming, it added fuel to an already burning fire. People were shocked. Some supported Christine and said she had every right to move on. Others felt it was too soon, or too close to home. Either way, the story exploded again in the media, and all this affected Kevin's career and the public perception of him. Stay tuned as we delve into how this affected his career. Kevin Costner's high career creative risks and public fallout. After Kevin Costner's divorce from Christine Baumgartner became public, many people started seeing him differently. For years he had been the calm, collected star of Western films, baseball classics, and strong father figures. But when the divorce drama started making headlines, stories about a possible conflict behind the scenes of his hit show Yellowstone also started coming out too. This affected his personal and public image. People didn't just see him as an actor anymore. They started seeing him as someone caught in a messy.
All this stay tuned. Kevin Costner's dating rumors and his long-lasting legacy after everything that happened with Kevin Costner's divorce. The drama surrounding his hit show Yellowstone and the growing spotlight on his personal life. It's really no surprise that people started talking about who he might be dating next. When you're a big Hollywood name like Kevin Costner, Rumors spread fast and they don't slow down easily. Not long after his very public divorce with Christine Baumgartner, the media started picking up on whispers that Kevin might be getting close to singer Jewel. The two were seen together at a tennis fundraiser. And although nothing was officially confirmed, the internet had already made up its mind that something was going on. And when the internet starts talking, the buzz only grows louder. Soon, more names got thrown into the picture, including Jennifer Lopez and even Sharon Stone, and while none of those rumors were backed by solid proof, it didn't stop the speculation. Kevin, however, stayed mostly silent through it all. He didn't rush to clear the air or make big statements. Later, he made it known that he was focused on his work, his children, and simply rebuilding his life. He wasn't interested in chasing headlines or getting wrapped up in romantic drama. And that's the thing, while everyone else was busy talking about his dating life, Kevin was quietly showing the world who he really is. Kevin Costner has always been the kind of person who values privacy over attention, especially when it comes to his relationships. He's never been the kind of celebrity who blasts personal updates all over social media or sits down for tell-all interviews about who he's seeing, even after his second marriage ended. He didn't change, he stayed private just like he's always been. Sources even mentioned that he maintained a close relationship with his first wife Cindy Silva, even years after their divorce. And that says a lot about the kind of person he is. That kind of loyalty, even after a relationship ends, makes people respect him even more. While the tabloids were throwing out names and trying to connect the dots, Kevin was focused on keeping his career going strong. He didn't let personal setbacks stop him. In fact, even with everything going on in his personal life, he was still pushing forward with one of the most important projects of his life. And if you understand just how determined Kevin is, you have to look back at where he came from. Kevin Costner didn't grow up in the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. He was born in California, but his life wasn't filled with movie sets or celebrity parties. He had humble beginnings. He worked small jobs, took acting classes, and tried to break into an industry where very few people ever make it big. He wasn't handed fame. He had to earn it, and his big break came in the mid-1980s when he landed roles in films like The Untouchables and Bull Durham. Those roles helped launch his career, and soon he became one of America's favorite leading men. Then there was Dances with Wolves, a project that truly changed everything for him. Kevin didn't just star in the film, he also directed and produced it. It was a huge risk because many people didn't think it would work. The film was a Western, and at the time, the genre wasn't exactly hot in Hollywood. People doubted whether Kevin could pull it off, and some thought he was in over his head. But he believed in the story and put his heart into it, and the result. The film won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. And just like that, people realized Kevin Costner wasn't just a handsome face on the screen. He was a serious filmmaker and storyteller. Over the years, Kevin continued to take on all kinds of roles. He played the role of baseball players, cowboys, bodyguards, and fathers. He starred in both big-budget movies, smaller ones, and more personal films, and even when some of his projects didn't perform well at the box office, he didn't give up. He kept working, kept trying, and kept telling stories that mattered to him. But Kevin Costner's life hasn't only been about making movies. He's also known for giving back and using his platform to support causes he cares about. Over the years, he's been involved in environmental efforts, including Ocean Therapy Solutions, a company that develops technology to clean up oil spills after the BP oil spill in 2010. His company played a role in helping with cleanup efforts. That kind of work isn't flashy and doesn't always make headlines, but it shows what kind of person Kevin is. Someone who cares about the world around him and isn't afraid to get involved. He also helped launch Here, a travel app that shares audio stories about American history and culture as people drive across the country. It's another example of how deeply he cares about storytelling, not just on the big screen, but in real life too. He believes in the power of stories to connect people and help them understand where they come from, even with all the ups and downs in his life. Kevin has always found a way to keep moving forward. That brings us to his latest and perhaps his most ambitious project, Horizon, an American saga. This isn't just another movie for Kevin, it's a dream he's been chasing for years. Horizon is a massive western that tells the story of America's expansion and the people who lived through it. Kevin poured not just time and energy into the project, but also a huge chunk of his own money. He believed in the story so much that he decided to fund it himself. That's how much it meant to him, and even though the first chapter of Horizon didn't perform as well as expected at the box office, Kevin didn't let that discourage him. He has made it clear that he still plans to finish the saga. No matter how long it takes, that kind of passion doesn't come from a desire for fame or fortune. It comes from something deeper, a desire to leave behind something meaningful. Kevin wants to tell stories that matter. He wants to leave a legacy that goes beyond movie tickets and award shows. And that's what really sets him apart from so many others in the industry. Now let's take a step back and really think about everything Kevin Costner has been through. He went through a long first marriage that ended in divorce. He then went through a second divorce that played out in front of the entire world. He lost a major role in a hit television show. He faced rumors about his love life. He took a massive risk on a passion project that hasn't yet paid off the way he hoped. And through it all, he kept going. Most people would slow down after going through all that. Many would retreat from the spotlight or take a break. But not Kevin. Instead, he's still standing still, working and still believing in the power of storytelling. He continues to show up to major events, like the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary celebration, which proved that the public still cares. People are still watching, still curious, and still rooting for him. And that's really what makes Kevin Costner different. He's not just an actor or a director. He's a survivor. He's a man who has weathered personal storms and professional setbacks. And he's come out on the other side with his dignity intact. He's still chasing his dreams, still chasing new horizons. Even now, as people continue to wonder who he might be dating or what project he'll take on next, Kevin remains focused on what really matters to him. His dream isn't finished. Horizon, an American saga, is still unfolding, and that's how we know that despite everything that's happened, Kevin hasn't given up. So do you think Kevin Costner's messy divorce changed the way people see him, or did it just prove how strong he really is? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Also click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy